All right, guys. Well, last year, BMike managed to turn an abandoned apartment complex into an art exhibit that got national attention. He worked with other artists from the area to create an amazing project that really had the entire city talking. Well, now he's about to invite us to Studio B. It is his debut solo show. What's going on here? We're excited.
I'm excited too.
Okay, so this is the first time solo. I know you worked with a lot of people. So Exhibit B was amazing.
It was, and I can't take blame for that. It was a lot of amazing artists who put their hand in to help transform that space. And often I try as best as possible to collaborate with people all the time. And so I thought about the gifts and curses of collaboration. It's a beautiful process, but I think sometimes I use it as a crutch. So this time it was important for me to just like
do it
really
on your
like,
own.
you know, lock myself in and see what happens. And that's kind of what I did. I've been in this space for like 5 months and just there creating and so yeah, you're about to see the result.
All right, it's in the Bywater.
It's in the Bywater.
Huge warehouse.
It's 30,000 square feet warehouse.
Whew.
And the goal is to occupy it with as much art as possible. So it's a bit off a whole lot, and I'm trying my best to chew it.
Okay, so what are you putting in there? What's the kind of focus this time around?
Well, I mean, the context is really, it's coming from my point of view as a black man from New Orleans, you know, so it's like a lot of different things that I'm hoping that a lot of people can relate to. So there's a lot of themes about, you know, growing up in New Orleans, about the problems of New Orleans, about the beauty of New Orleans, and just in general about my perspective and my fascination with time. My fascination with time cooped with my extreme fear of time. So it's like this woven piece of appreciation and distrust of moments. And that's what Studio B, that's what Project B, that's what Exhibit B was all about. It's about that word to be. And the colloquial use of the word be is so beautiful because it exists in all tenses. So if you say she be tripping, you don't know if that meant she was tripping yesterday, today, or tomorrow. So it's like, so the idea of what it means to be in the context of time is why it's called ephemeral, eternal. And that's a very long way of explaining.
You so deep, BMike. Every time I ask you one question, we go down a rabbit hole.
No, I was trying not to get to the rabbit hole, but that's what, so it's a lot of different themes. There's a lot of themes about love, a lot of themes about struggle, about revolution.
Yeah.
And just what it means to look at time in the face and think about how you compare to time. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So when we talked about Exhibit B last time, right, you were saying you wanted to fill this space to remind people there was once life there.
Yeah.
What is kind of your motivation for filling the space this time?
Well, it's really a motivation to show that it goes back to the hashtag Black Lives Matter. It goes back to this idea of representation. It's this idea of value. And I'm hoping that when people see the work, they see themselves reflected in it. And it goes back to that quote that Harriet Tubman said, where she said, "I freed thousands of slaves and I could have freed 1,000 more if only I could convince them that they were slaves." So it goes back to this understanding that even at the worst time, she couldn't convince people that they deserved better.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot about our everyday life that we feel this is how it's supposed to be. And so I'm hoping that this art shows that there's a strong history that shows the opposite of accepting things as they are.
Gotcha.
And that's what I'm hoping is reflected in the work, that you see yourself reflected.
All right, well, thank you so much for being here. We are super excited for you. We know you always support you. You're still welcome to do some art for our set, but we won't go there. All right, guys, and Studio B opens on February 13th. It's in a Bywater warehouse at 2941 Royal Street. Well, still to come, a documentary about costuming in New Orleans is airing right after the 504 tonight, and we got more details on the film after the break.